Welcome to the channel. Today we are checking out the issue with Dan Quarter, bro. This is the first time reaction and the title reads, bro, South Africa's ruling coalition arrives. ANC-DA-IFP Ramaphosa president. As you know, we are stepping into a new era, bro, concerning the government and all that type of vibes, bro. And please comment down below your guys' opinions about this whole situation as a whole, bro. And don't forget to like the video and shout out to this guy for creating this type of content.
Welcome to the first day of the new South Africa. The new South Africa 2.0, because some things may look exactly the same, but honestly, everything has fundamentally changed. Let's get into it. We are recording, and I really
This is the
do
guy.
have to tell you what time. At 3:11 on Friday, the 14th of June, where the National Assembly and provincial legislatures are still being sworn in right now. But there's so much we need to talk about, and we need to tell you about it now, even though not everything is quite done, because there have been a lot of delays. The first thing you need to know is that, according to all reports and confirmations, this country is about to be ruled by a government of national unity, they like to brand it, but it's really a grand coalition of, at its core, the ANC, the Democratic Alliance.
But didn't DA said all over the radio that the Patriotic Alliance is aligned with the ANC, that they shouldn't vote for the PA? But look now, brother, this is crazy lies.
I cannot believe I'm saying those two in the same sentence about being partners. The Inkatha Freedom Party, and it looks like also the Patriotic Alliance, but there's some mess there that we'll get to in a second. They've all come out to different degrees and announced that they are working together nationally and provincially. So we're going to start with national and work our way down, but they are all interconnected. And the one thing that is fundamentally true is that the new president is set to be the same as the old president. Cyril Ramaphosa will be re-elected for another term, supported by the Democratic Alliance. And the ANC-DA-IFP plus smaller parties seems to be the core coalition that's going to try and rule across all the different provinces in South Africa. In a lot of provinces, ANC majorities have already sworn in their new premiers. Some premiers are the same as the old ones, like for example in the Eastern Cape. But in many other provinces, the ANC has taken its dominance once again. This is the issue with Dan Quarter. South Africa is a movie. Welcome to the watch party on the day that South Africa's new government is being created. Let's start at the start, right at the top. President Ramaphosa will be the president, but the ANC and the DA together with their smaller partners have now elected a new Speaker of the National Assembly, which is Thoko Didiza. She has been an ANC stalwart for the longest time. She's been a minister, generally Minister of Agriculture, more recently Agriculture, Land Reform, Rural Development. She was Minister of Public Works for a little while. She's going to be the new National Assembly Speaker, and she is going to be deputized, it seems. Well, we know it's going to be by a DA Deputy Speaker. It looks like it's going to be Anneli Lotriet. She is a DA heavyweight who's been representing the DA from the Free State for many years. And that pattern of the ANC leading in the top position.
So it's basically 50-50 or what? I don't know how does this coalition thing work, bro. Living in this country and people talking about these type of stuff and not explaining it fully to other people to make them understand is really not right, bro. Because there's people in the country, they don't understand what the hell is going on because they're using these big terms, bro. Basically, just say it in plain, simple English.
And the DA following seems to be the pattern that they're going to try and do across a raft of different places. We've also just discovered that Panyaza Lesufi will be and is the Premier of Gauteng, deputized by a DA deputy. And what that means is, although it's not confirmed yet because they've not got a deputy president, it could be that that pattern follows international government where we get a deputy president from the Democratic Alliance. Now, I want to be very clear. There are no leaks suggesting that. It's just a lot of people are inferring that from the pattern that we've already seen of an ANC top dog deputized by somebody from the Democratic Alliance. It may go differently nationally. It may be that a John Steenhuisen type gets an extremely powerful position in the cabinet in the
a lot of people thought that Edbara is going to be president when this coalition thing happened, bro. And there was a video of, I don't know, Fikile Baluba, whatever his name is. He said something of some stuff is not meant to be in public discussed. It should be done privately.
Ministries, but it could also be that John Steenhuisen becomes deputy president of South Africa. Now, of course, that is not necessarily a done deal whatsoever. Look, Paul Mashatile has been the vice president. He's the deputy president of the ANC after Ramaphosa. He is an epically powerful person with an enormous constituency that supports him. And so it's not necessarily the case that he's just going to be comfortably booted to the side, or that the ANC even wants a DA vice president. But that is what is the pattern is suggesting based on what we've seen in Gauteng and in the National Assembly.
This guy.
So what else do you need to know?
Bro.
Well, Fikile Mbalula this morning signed a document that lays out how the Government of National Unity, which really means this grand coalition of ANC, DA, IFP, and a few more, is going to rule. They've drawn up a series of rules on how they are going to govern. So we're not going to find out all of the government positions. We're not going to find out all of the ministerial cabinet positions today necessarily, but we do have these rules that this Government of National Unity / Grand Coalition is bound by. And one of the rules is very important. It's in point 19. It says that the Government of National Unity / Coalition, I'm just going to call it coalition from now on, can only pass anything if they get 60% majority in the National Assembly when it comes to voting on a new piece of legislation, or the
which didn't happen. That is why this is happening, right?
And what that means is, at 60%, that means both the ANC and the DA have to agree on something for it to go through, supported by either, right? Because the ANC got 40%, the DA got 21%, and so they together make 60%. What this rules out is the potential of, say, the ANC wanting to do something, the DA being against it, and the ANC cobbling together 10% support from other parties besides the DA to pass a law or a piece of legislation or a bill in the National Assembly without the Democratic Alliance. According to this agreement for this GNU, this Government of National Unity, that cannot happen. And that's really interesting when you think about the implications for policy, because we know that the ANC and DA fundamentally disagree on so many things: BEE, social grants, land reform. It goes on and on and on. And what this seems to be suggesting is they need to fundamentally agree on something together before passing a bill that changes a policy. And so what this outcome could mean is no movement where they disagree on the current policies on minimum wage, BEE, land reform, and the rest. That could be social grants. It could just be that this guy.
Do you guys think this is a good thing happening here or a bad thing? But I also think that we have to see, give it some time and see what is going to happen, bruh. Like, I don't think they can become one party. It's just that like, say for example, I think for the next election, and let's say ANC gets just make 60%, and then this coalition thing and she will break down, right?
Government of National Unity is essentially going to fix our policies as a country in place while the ANC and the DA co-govern, because the ANC definitely doesn't want to change its policies in a DA way. They will hemorrhage voters if they do that. And the DA definitely doesn't want to change their policy positions to an ANC position, because they will also hemorrhage voters. And particularly the ANC has already been labeled sellouts by a lot of their supporters. And that is something they're going to want to try and not strengthen that argument. And that argument would be strengthened if it looked like the ANC was just throwing away all of its historic policy positions in favor of the DAs. There is one more province that we need to talk about that is up for grabs. You would have known, particularly if you've been watching our TikToks, that KZN is hung like this. Very inappropriate joke there that I'm avoiding saying, but it is hung KZN. There are 80 seats in KwaZulu-Natal to rule in KZN. MK got 37. EFF got 2, so that's 39, just short of half. And remember, you need 41 to rule, 41 seats to rule in KZN when there are 80 seats. IFP, ANC, and DA together got 40, right? So 40 for them, 39 for MK.
Like, who is this IFP, bro? This is the first time I think I've always seen this logo or emblem. I didn't know it was a political party. I thought it was like a label or thing.
EFF, which means one more seat, and that went to the absolutely tiny NFP, right? They got like 16,000 votes, which is nothing, but they've emerged as basically kingmakers, because whichever way they chose to go would influence who could rule in the KZN provincial legislature. One of the things that has taken so long, and the reason why we're recording so late is because we've been waiting for KZN, is that vote has been hamstrung by lots of complaints, lots of claims of votes being exposed when they're supposed to be secret ballots, lots of complaints.
It's always going to be like that.
Votes in the KZN provincial legislature. And that's because, as I just said, NFP going with ANC-DA-IFP, their vote is 41, which is just enough to rule, versus the 39 of MK and EFF. But it's a secret ballot, which means that there was potential for people going to vote in secret, voting different from their party lines. So imagine if we came out of that vote and it was actually 41-39 to the MK-EFF side, or whoever they put up to be speaker or premier. That would have meant that people from the other side of the coalition had turned coat in secret and voted with the other side. And so there's been a lot of scrutiny on this, because the margin is literally, it could not be narrow between 41 and 39 on either side of the coalition. But what we do know is that on an exact margin on party lines of 41.
It's crazy how this is what happens if you do your research, bro. This guy is top notch on doing this. I don't know. I think he just specializes in like I'm gonna say these type of content. I'm not sure. I haven't seen everything. I only saw the rugby when it was the Rugby World Cup. That's when I found out about this dude. But yeah.
To 39, they have elected an ANC member of the provincial legislature. Nontembeko Boyce has been elected KZN speaker. And fairly unsurprisingly, in the KZN legislature, they are going to try and put up a deputy speaker from the Democratic Alliance called Maboto Tembe. So that follows the pattern, right? It follows the National Assembly pattern, it follows the Gauteng pattern. ANC speaker, DA deputy speaker. And considering the IFP is the third big force in that coalition, we are expecting to see them support and fall behind an IFP premier. But those votes are still unfolding right now as of 20 minutes past 3 on Friday afternoon. So it's all very exciting. It's very wild. We're waiting to see what will happen with the rest of the splitting up of powers across the Government of National Unity.
Crazy, bro.
Elsewhere, there's a lot of tea going down. The Patriotic Alliance is supposed to be in this Government of National Unity, as far as most media understands, and also political leaks and reporting. But Gauteng and the leader of the Patriotic Alliance, came out today saying that they would drop out of the ruling coalition if he wasn't given a ministry. He's been shouting very loudly to get Minister of Home Affairs or Minister of Policing, and that's honestly shocked quite a lot of people, because the PA just didn't get that many votes to be shouting so bigly about the positions that they want in the.
So basically, some of the parties can get these type of roles, bro. The ones that got the most votes now.
Cabinet, but
Gauteng
and has now come out and said that they might drop out of the GNU, the coalition, if they don't get any ministry at all. And because he is saying that, the fact that he is saying that might suggest to us, looking from the outside, that Gauteng thinks that he might be about to be sidelined from the ruling ministries, the ruling cabinet of the ruling coalition. So that's one wild thing to watch. The second interesting thing to watch is that the EFF seems to have been absolutely evicted from all of its provincial positions in Gauteng. The ANC has decided to cut ties with the EFF and go with the DA-IFP triple threat, I guess, with the smaller parties in Gauteng, and that looks like it's going to happen elsewhere. It looks like the EFF is not going to be in this ruling government at all, this Government of National Unity, this coalition. It fits with what the DA wants, because the DA doesn't want to work with the EFF, and the EFF doesn't want to work with the DA. But it's a very interesting moment for Malema and his party. Malema came out last night in a very interesting press conference, and he said, firstly, that the EFF would no longer be a party of disruptive politics. They weren't going to try and just disrupt to get anywhere. They were now going to take on a more mature politics as what could possibly be the leader of the opposition if MK continues to boycott. Malema also said that the EFF would now start only working for voting districts, areas that voted for the EFF. So he said, don't come and call us if you need a borehole in your voting district, but your voting district voted ANC. We're going to start serving.
That's crazy, bro. That's not the way you want to win over people, by doing that for people that only voted for you in that district or wherever. You have to try to win people over, though. You can't just
people
pop
who
up when
serve us
it's
and choose
voting
us.
time.
And he also said that applies to KwaZulu-Natal too, because remember, the EFF voter base in KwaZulu-Natal absolutely collapsed under the weight of MK in this election. And Malema essentially said, we're not now going to pull candidates and representatives and give power in the EFF to people from KZN, because the people of KZN have shown no interest in supporting or wanting us. It's a real policy shift and a style shift from the economic freedom fighters, as Malema described in that conference last night. And lastly, just as a fun fact, somebody got sworn in as a member of parliament today in red as a red beret. He swore an oath to tell the truth and fight for South Africa
that, bro?
in God's name. It's Carl Niehaus, the ex-ANC guy, the grifter, the scammer, the laughing stock, the guy who got arrested on live TV just a few years ago by the police when they couldn't find him and looked up at the TV and saw that he was there. He's now managed to land himself
How do they get these people back in to do this, bro?
a 1.2 million rand a year MP salary with the fighters. So it's been an absolutely insane day. It is now 24 minutes past 3, and this edit will come out in the next few hours, and it's 24 minutes past 3. So if anything happens after 24 minutes past 3, that's for our next video. And breathe.
Crazy. It's crazy, South Africans. We have to breathe, bro. We have to breathe. Oh my days. Oh no, man. Why you have to be like this? Relax, guys. I'm busy talking here. But yeah, guys, give me your opinions on what we just watched, bro. What I reacted to. Give me your opinion on this whole matter. The new South Africa or the new government. Like, what is your guys' take on all this, bro? This is like the hot topic now in the country, bro, because this is what the people like literally decided by voting this and who and that. So yeah, guys, please give me your opinions in the comment section down below. And yeah, if I think I should check out more content like this. So yeah, now that is this type of season in the country, we'll just do the world good.